it's Jonathan, and welcome to another episode of Sigillum Multarum. Today, we'll be talking about the flag of Slovakia, a Central European country which is situated next to Czechia, a country we have covered in the previous episode. As I mentioned in the Czechia video, I am making these videos both to commemorate the end of the 1989 Velvet Revolution, and because one of my most recent subscribers, Combat for Combat, has the Slovak flag on its logo. In this video, I'll be talking about the history of Slovak flags, and then the symbolism of the current one, before finally finishing by talking about flags that look very similar to the Slovak flag, but aren't. Now, let's talk about some flags. Historia. History. The history of Slovak flags goes back to the early Middle Ages, with the Principality of Nitra, which was founded in the early 1800s. It may have flown this flag from around 970, a red swallowtail flag with two white crosses on it. Nitra was a vassal state of Hungary from 906 or 907 until around the year 1000, and again from 1030 until Hungary annexed it entirely in 1108. The full story of Hungarian flags will be saved for another video, but it will suffice to say that whichever flag Hungary was using at a given time was also the flag that Slovakia was using. However, from 1301 to 1321, the Slovak inhabited land of Upper Hungary used a red field with a golden depiction of a double cross on three hills, the first depiction of this symbol on a Slovak flag. After 1321, Upper Hungary only used the flag of Slovakia itself. Later, in 1526, the Archduke of Austria became the King of Hungary, so that beginning in the 18th century, Hungary, including Upper Hungary, used the black and gold bicolour of Austria. However, it was only in 1848 that the modern Slovak flag began to take shape. In that year, as part of the many revolutions that occurred in Europe at the same time, a Slovak group called the Slovak National Council attempted to declare Slovakia an autonomous region within Hungary. This fight for self-government was called the Slovak Uprising and resulted in several flags flying over what became known as the Slovak Autonomous Territory, or simply Autonomous Slovakia. The demands of the Slovak nation, the document declaring the Slovak Autonomous Territory, proposed a red and white swallowtail pennant as the flag of Slovakia. Another flag used in the Slovak uprising was a white-blue-red tricolor swallowtail pennant with the Slovak slogan Slava Královi a Slobode, meaning glory to the king and freedom, on the white stripe, and the word Svornost, meaning unity, on the red stripe. A similar flag arranged the colors as red, blue, and white and featured the Slovak mottos Bratstvo a Zvornost, Zakrala a Narod Slovenski, and Slava Setkim Slovakom, written on each of the stripes. These mottos mean respectively brotherhood and unity for the king and the Slovak nation, and glory to the Slovaks. Note that the mention of the king in those previous two flags is a reference to the King of Hungary, and thus an expression of how the Slovak National Council was not trying to become independent of Hungary, but autonomous within Hungary. This message also showed in yet another Slovak flag used at the time, which featured a modified version of the Hungarian coat of arms of the cross standing on three blue hills instead of the green hills of standard Hungarian coats of arms. The green is switched out for blue because blue is a Slovak colour, but other than that, this flag was very similar to the old flags of Hungary. Ultimately, the Slovak uprising was unsuccessful, but despite Slovakia failing to obtain autonomy, the colours of white, blue, and red stuck around in Slovak vexillology, with this Russia-like tricolour being adopted as the flag of the Slovak people in 1868. This white, blue, red tricolour was used during the late 19th century by Slovaks living in the melting pot that is the United States. Meanwhile, back in Slovakia itself, the black and gold bicolour of Austria continued to fly over Slovakia as part of Hungary until 1867 when the Austro-Hungarian Empire was formed, under which Austria and Hungary were declared equal entities. As a result, during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Slovakia began using whatever flag Hungary was using, as well as the Austria-Hungary civil ensign. However, the use of Hungarian flags in Slovakia ended in 1918, when the Central Powers, including Austria-Hungary, were defeated in World War I, resulting in Hungary becoming fully independent from Austria, and Slovakia merging with the formerly Austrian Bohemia to form the first Czechoslovak Republic, which initially used the old Bohemian bicolor. We'll return to this flag shortly, but first, I would like to give a dishonorable mention to the attempted Slovak Socialist Republic of 1919. In the aftermath of World War I, various communist groups in Europe, with ties to the Soviet government in Russia, tried to make their own communist states in their own country. As a result, from March 21st to August 1st, 1919, Hungary was ruled by the self-proclaimed Hungarian Soviet Republic, which was only the second communist state to be proclaimed, only being preceded by Soviet Russia itself. The Hungarian Soviet Republic only lasted 103 days, which isn't even enough time for it to design a national flag that wasn't just a plain red flag. And one of the few things it did was create a puppet government called the Slovak Soviet Republic, which was even more short-lived than its founder. The Slovak Socialist Republic was proclaimed on June 16, 1919, and had only 3 weeks to fly their own plain red flag as their national flag until the Czechoslovak government retook it on July 7th that same year. As for Hungary, you'll learn about it in a different video, but it was replaced by the very government it overthrew on August 1st, 1919. Now, let's take this video back to Slovakia. The Czechoslovak government continued to use the Bohemian flag until 1920, when it added a blue triangle to create the Czechoslovak flag. Slovakia did not have an official flag during the democracy of the First Czechoslovak Republic, though its citizens unofficially used the white-blue-red tricolor that the Slovak people had been using since the late 19th century. Later, after Germany annexed parts of Czechia in 1938 and the rest of Czechoslovakia became the authoritarian Second Republic, Slovakia became an autonomous region within Czechoslovakia called the Autonomous Land of Slovakia, which adopted the previously unofficial white-blue-red flag as the official flag of Slovakia. A very short amount of time later, in 1939, Germany annexed the rest of Czechia, leaving the so-called Slovak Republic, not related to the current Slovak Republic, as a client state, and some may say an outright puppet state, controlled by Germany. This client state continued to use the white-blue-red tricolor, but the Slovaks that fought against the Germans readopted the Czechoslovak flag, expressing how they wanted to restore Czechoslovakia. And in fact, the Allies that fought Germany in World War II recognized the Czechoslovak government in exile in London, a continuation of the First Republic, as the true government of both Czechia and Slovakia. After World War II ended with an Allied victory in 1945, the Third Czechoslovak Republic was declared, using the Czechoslovak flag that was introduced in 1920, while, understandably considering the time, Slovakia just used the Czechoslovak flag. This republic was then overthrown in 1948 by the communist-led Fourth Czechoslovak Republic, known as the Czechoslovak Socialist Republic from 1960 to 1990. Unlike many other communist regimes, the Czechoslovak Socialist Republic did not redesign their national flag. As I said in the Czech flag video, Czechoslovakia became a federation consisting of the Czech Socialist Republic and the Slovak Socialist Republic in 1969, but it was only after Czechoslovakia became a democracy in 1990 that either of them got official flags. On March 1st, 1990, the Slovak Socialist Republic, which was just renamed the Slovak Republic, readopted the old white-blue-red flag that was used from the late 19th century until 1945. This caused the Czech government to readopt the Bohemian flag, just so both republics within Czechoslovakia have their own flags. These flags lasted until the Velvet Divorce of 1993 caused Czechoslovakia to dissolve, and Czechia and Slovakia to separate. Czechia readopted the Czechoslovak flag immediately after its dissolution. But by that time, Slovakia already stopped using the plain tricolour as its national flag, due to a problem that you can see already. It looks almost exactly the same as the Russian flag. In fact, the only difference between the old Slovak flag and the flag of Russia is that the colours of the Slovak flag were slightly darker than the flag of Russia. As a result, on September the 3rd, 1992, just a few months before Slovak independence, Slovakia added the coat of arms of Slovakia on its national flag. Now, although the shieldless version is still used as the civil ensign of Slovakia, at least as long as Americans don't mistake Slovak ships for Russian ones, it is the shielded one that is still the national flag of Slovakia to this day. Now, let's go over the symbolism. Symbolism. The flag of Slovakia's symbolism is pretty straightforward. White, blue, and red colors are the pan-Slavic colors, as mentioned in the Czech flag video, referencing how Slovakia is populated largely by ethnic Slavs. The pan-Slavic colors are derived from the flag of Russia, the most notable of the Slavic countries, which explains why the flag of Slovakia looks so much like the flag of Russia. The shield, meanwhile, has its own symbolism. The three hills on the shield represent the three mountain ranges of the former northern territories of Hungary, the Tatra, Matra, and Fatra ranges. As an extra bit of trivia, the Matra range is still part of Hungary, while the name Fatra can refer to two mountain ranges, Velika Fatra, or Greater Fatra, and Mala Fatra, or Lesser Fatra. Returning to shields, as I mentioned earlier of the 1848 Hungary-like Slovak flag, the hills are blue because blue is the Slovak national color. Meanwhile, there is a double cross on the middle hill. There are several interpretations to the double cross, though one interpretation of this cross is of course Slovakia's Christian population. The image of a double cross on three hills has been used by Slovakia since the Middle Ages, as seen with the 13th century Upper Hungary flag. That is the symbolism of the flag of Slovakia. Now to distinguish it from flags that look similar to the Slovak flag. Nesmí být změněna s. Not to be confused with. As I said before, the Slovak flag looks like the flag of Russia, hence the shield. However, the flag of Slovakia also looks like the flag of Slovenia, which is also a white, blue, red tricolor with a shield on it, albeit with a 1:2 proportion instead of Slovakia's 2:3 proportion, different shades of blue, and of course, a different shield. And now you know how to tell the difference between the flags of Slovakia, Slovenia, and Russia. We can continue with flags such as the Netherlands or Croatia, but I think we have tackled the flags that are most similar to Slovakia's in this segment, so on to the outro. And now you know more about the flag of Slovakia, which is also the flag of Handshot Protection subscriber Combat for Combat. In this video we have covered the history of Slovak flags, the symbolism of the current one, and the flags that look like the Slovak flag, but aren't. I mean, considering how similar Slovakia and Slovenia's names are in both English and Slovak, I would understand if you did not know the difference between the flags. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on it. If you enjoyed the entire channel, subscribe to it. And if you want to know when our next video will be coming out, click the bell button after you subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.